Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
This is Rengru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, we continue our coverage of the monthly tournament over here for SD2. We are today on Ciano, and Rank, who do we have and what are they bringing?
On the left-hand side in the blue, we have Kurz Foxes playing as the Hermann-Goring Panzer Division with a Maverick income. Right-hand side in red, we have Gonzo playing what infantry division? 358th Infantry Division, or Corps, whatever, with a balanced income. There's too many Russian infantry divisions with numbers above 300.
That's true. That's true, and none of them are Spartans, so, we can't really deal with that either, can we? But, I said to you, I was super excited already. We have a Sturmtiger down below, so hopefully we're going to get some beautiful, beautiful Death Star action.
Yeah, you better blow up half the map.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping for anyway.
I think it's ridiculous armor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was almost just going to make that comment, just like, it's absurd.
Why?
Well,
you're not going to put you on the, you're keeping that thing like a few kilometers back to shoot stuff, right? Germany, what were you thinking?
Well, for me, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to go and put a battleship tank and put that and have it drive over land. I'm going to give it as much armor to make sure that it knows that bigger is still beautiful. It's a big bone tank, okay? It's a BBT.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the gun was originally designed as a depth charge launcher, so...
Well, first shell, it's coming up.
It never gets old.
No, it doesn't. I feel like I always should be playing the 1812 Overture whenever this guy's in the field.
Yeah. But just looking at the actual deployment so far, we've got the standard fight over the town up north. Actually, pretty passive up north. Neither side trying to rush for the spindly long town. But actually, okay, all the way far north, Gonzo's actually pushing really well with some CQC troops into the enemy forest. So that's a pretty good foothold.
Yeah, and I think the P3N over here is going to find himself being caught in some hassles. Because if he engages, he's got that 45 mil. That's going to be more than easy to take that out.
Yeah, he's going to find himself in a target-rich environment rather soon. Fortunately, his Russians don't have any anti-tank, so he should be fine. Hermann-Goring Pioneer, however, probably not so much.
Probably the case. I'm actually kind of fascinated. Oh no, the P3 is he's getting involved, man. That is a gutsy move right there. He's the only guy holding the flank now. This is not going to go well.
You have to hold until relieved, because down south more of the focus is here from Kurz, bringing in some more Panzers and some Hermann-Goring Ersatz trooping. There's a slightly better Ersatz troop, and they get the fancy uniforms and the Hermann-Goring seal of approval.
And I was trying to think about that, and you're right. Only thing that's really different is that Hugo Boss designed the uniforms as opposed to whoever designed the other ones. There's a minute, small reinforcement column happening over there, but nothing to really write home about.
Oh, but yeah, Gonzo's putting some pretty good press roller up north, even bringing in the dreaded T-26, the mightiest of the Soviet armor.
We could really mock that, but as far as light tanks go, it's not terrible.
No, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's really the fact that there's not enough of them on a particular card.
And they got good veterancy,
yes.
How he has them set up right now. I can actually give the Panzer III a run for its money.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I should, in the meantime, doing what they do best, cosplaying as the Germans, well, I'll say the French, actually, in the beginning of the war. So that's a bit of a hassle there. Yeah,
they're just gonna get shot at, which I guess is the classic Ersatz troop and move. Too bad the tanks aren't moving a little bit down south to actually return some fire. Or the Sturmtiger's reloaded. It needs to do another kaboom.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think should be able to actually engage that group of Sachitsky. He was engaging somebody. Is he going for the Strokey DP, do you think?
B?
Nope, he's going for the group of Sachitskys. But that's where he's changing himself over here. P-34s, P-4s, and yeah, an MG-42 engaged in the southern part of that town. It would be nice. He actually wait. Oh no, never mind. He's going for the Sachitskys. Okay, that's a decent call there. Yeah. Worth mentioning, there's a ZIS-3 behind the town that was able to pick off a P3 just to the west of the town. You can see the burning pyre there in the meantime. And I did not appreciate quite how much firepower between the T-34, the 2 DTs, and the P4 with the 2 MG-34s, plus the HEs. Like, that's almost like a single Stuart firing at the town.
Yeah, this is pretty good kills. I mean, Kurz is really trying to push this heavily into the town right now, and hopefully it can pay off, because he is slowly losing the far north. Really not much has changed. He just doesn't have that flag under control, and he's going to be pushing with some armor and infantry of his own. Actually could work pretty well, because once again, this infantry doesn't have any anti-tank.
No, but there's an anti-tank down to the south, the ISU-122.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
picked off the P4, so that's going to be a bit of a hassle.
Yeah, he's going to be in a great spot.
Exactly, and this is one of those moments where, you know, the Russians didn't think that they were going to go and make their own vehicles weak to themselves. Like, this isn't Pokemon where Psychic is weak to Psychic kind of thing. The ISU-122 does not give a rat's back end about, you know, anybody else in the field.
Yup, it sees tank, it blows up tank. Simple as.
It's a real stank tank. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
Absolutely right. Air Stats to the north, in the meantime, we're going to see ourselves maybe a potential kind of, and I say push, I put that in heavy air quotes, because Akupa Sachitsky should be able to push it back with nary any kind of real issue. What's he waiting on? He's waiting at P3N. Okay, maybe he's waiting on the P3 to get a push there.
Yeah, just want a little bit of extra firepower.
I'll tell you what he's also looking for in the south. Ju-87 clusters. He's looking for the ISU, and I think he's going to get over the target just in time. He might be able to pick up some infantry as well.
Oh, that'd be a nice one too. Infantry unload. ISU goes boom. Really good pick-off here.
T-60s and T-26s, well, they are fearsome, don't get me wrong, but just not quite the same level of fearsome.
Actually, it could be pretty unironically fearsome right now, because there's no anti-tank down south here. Full Kurz, it's just infantry, so your T-60s can provide some fantastic fire support, and like Gonzo can actually make a pretty good push here down south, really to secure this town.
Biryukin, in the meantime, freaks out the Ju-87 enough that he's not going to get a good engagement on that anti-tank position, and he's probably going to get a kill. Well done, Biryukin. You know, I don't know the real story behind this necessarily just yet, but I have heard that there was a Soviet air ace who didn't have any legs.
Wasn't that a British one?
Was it British? I heard it was Soviet.
Yeah, it was a British guy who had no legs and was an air ace. There probably was a Soviet one too. I wouldn't be surprised.
In the meantime, claims his second victim, other than blowing up the planet of Alderaan. He kills a T-26.
Wow. Don't get in front of that thing, guys. It'll
Absolutely
blow you up.
not. And up to the north, actually, Ju-87s, we have a vague combined arms push. Nothing really too terrifying. Again, just Zapchitsky's just kind of getting blown to shreds, and a T-26 kind of schlumping towards the front lines.
Mm-hmm.
But it's enough to get a 13-11.
Yeah, that's... I mean, Kurz Foxes really does need that, as he will be going into B-Fates without Maverick income. It's really the do or die, and right now he's not in a great position. I mean, down south he's facing a lot of pressure from these T-60s pushing on through. He really needs some anti-tank down here, and... well, he's not getting any, he's actually investing in anti-air right now.
Curious decision. And more air stats trooping. Jeez, come on, like... One, you have Valkyries, bring in the Valkyries. Let the Valkyries ride, you know, as much as you can.
Play the song.
You need them right now. You desperately need them. You can't send air stats trooping in there. You just see what happens every single time. But he's investing another 2 squads of that and 2 T-34s. So
Okay.
he's gonna donate 2 infantry squads before the T-34s.
I think the infantry of the T-34s isn't too bad. Just as long as the infantry spots the stuff and the T-34s are right behind, you know, you're just using the air trooping as bait.
But road speed, 80 kilometers. Road speed, 49 kilometers. It's gonna be a little bit.
It's gonna be a little bit. The air trooping just have to be very juicy bait.
Oh, look where they're supposed to be deployed. They're both gonna die.
Yeah, they're both gonna die. Oh no, he unloads. Here we go, T-34s are coming up, and honestly this might be enough time for the T-34s to spot and kill.
I still don't see it. I still don't see it. That's one squad, turned to shreds. And now they have time to kind of just back away. Will they still get spotted here? Yeah, absolutely, eventually. But they've still been able to pay themselves off, let's put it that way.
Yeah, they've done a pretty good aggressive maneuvers, and Gonzo's managing to bring up more infantry onto the hill. So, yeah, got a few machine gun play from Kurz Foxes. The T-60 actually doing some decent damage, but finally the T-34 is being brought up, and they are going to finish up the T-60s on the hill. If he can kill one T-60 on the defilade, he'd be able to stomp his push out, because, yeah, there's not much anti-tank apart from that on Gonzo's side.
True. That's absolutely true. Quick note to the north, there was a T-26 where the P-3 ends engaging and killing that. So the light tanks are starting to meet their match over here from the Soviet side of things.
Oh, how did it get over here? That is peculiar, like just how the front line is going up north here.
We'll see here in a second. The light tank's going to go down. Oh no, never mind. No stabilizers, big problem. Yes, sir?
Oh, he doesn't have a sight on the T-60 down south because he's not over the crest of the hill yet. Just blowing up the infantry to hell and back.
Well, and that's the kind of good thing, isn't it? Now, one thing I think I'm surprised by is that there's been... Oh, wait. Ooh, this is interesting. T-60 is getting seen as we speak. He might go down. There we go.
Oh.
But the T-34 is going to charge. There still is this 3 there.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good spot for this 3. He's on a hold fire right now, probably waiting for a better opportunity to strike, aka the T-34 getting closer.
Oh, and to the north of P3 ends that were there, they're going to find themselves getting taken out by T-34-76s. Well done.
Yeah, that was not a very good position for the Panther 3s, because it was P3 ends, can't do much against T-34s, they're not that great in the anti-tank role.
I think the big thing is that they just were kind of not able to redeploy too easily. Just as a consequence of being up in the forest, there's not a lot of easy maneuvering space up there, I would argue.
Yeah. I do find it interesting Foxes is bringing in a Tiger down into the northern central town, so to speak. Is he trying to invest like a heavy push over here? Because this could work. I mean, we haven't seen anyone push this town yet so far, so could be a surprise.
There's potential, that's for sure. But he's got to be careful because at this point, Gonzo can be bringing in more ISUs. Whether it's a 122S or the 122. I mean, the 122 is not going to be until Phase C, but still worth mentioning. And Bilyukin over here claims another victim. So the German air power is getting a little bit more marginal here.
Yeah, and we are in the B phase, and honestly, Kurz has not managed to make all that great headway so far. He's still in the lead point rise, but he has like 6.5 minutes to really take advantage of his point advantage, and he's actually doing a pretty good job up north. He's getting those Jagdpanzers, which are really, really good tanks in a 1v1, especially against just regular T-34s. If he can bring up a little bit more infantry, he could potentially make a good push up north.
Also, Gepard's down to the south might claim a victim. More likely that the infantry down south is, yeah, it's going to get plastered. You know, I wonder sometimes, with these strategic bombers that kind of get brought into the Tu-2, for example, I can't help but wonder if it's better to actually get hit by suppression issues.
So you do more...
Spread. Just so to actually spread the bombs out a lot more, you know?
If you're going after against, like, a lot of infantry targets, and yeah, honestly, I don't think that's too bad of an idea. Because usually with, like, the smaller bomb runs, you're just kind of looking to suppress a bunch of guys, not so much kill them.
And for a lot of strategic bombers, I think and I haven't tested this, of course, but I feel like the anti-airs are marginally less effective. I don't know if that's coding from the game just because it's supposed to be like they're flying higher, or if that's just the way that it's run overall. But I feel like this observational bias suggests that they're not as likely to get shot down.
It's because they fly higher, yes.
Yeah, but it was never one of those things that I tested to figure out if I was like, okay, well, because we have ostensibly a more safe missions profile. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, you can't really control height with the airplanes. It makes them
True.
really janky. But
True.
I'm fairly certain they do fly higher, so just longer range for the anti-air guns to shoot. Yo, up north, I mean, Kurz does seem starting to make a pretty good headway through the town. I mean,
True.
it's really just that one group and the Comroti, and he can capture that. He's got the tanks moving up. This could be his big break, hopefully.
True. That's absolutely true. I mean, he's looking for those motion pictures here, man. He's definitely moving on in with great alacrity. Group of Sachitsky, in the meantime, a lot of them being brought on in. What do you feel about this overabundance of Sachitsky? How do you feel about this?
I feel pretty fine about it. I mean, they're really good infantry because essentially stern pioneers, but a bit better. They actually are better with their rapid
SVTs.
loadout.
Yeah.
And the smokes as well. Or no, I think stern pioneers get smokes too.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. But yeah, they're really good infantry for the price. And you can never go wrong with flamethrowers, as we're seeing up north.
True. True. I know, I had this kind of weird love-hate relationship with flamethrowers because I feel like so much of the actual infantry kind of fighting isn't at that close of a range. Like, there's a reason you're able to engage from 600 meters away.
Yeah. You just have to, flamethrowers, you just have to be very particular.
Oh my
my god. No. This is the curse of heavy tanks in 1v1s. They die in the stupidest ways every single time.
And now that's how this is continuing engagement with APCRs.
Oh
Ammo
my
explosion.
god! That is not safe for work, all that side armor play, right? Yeah. But at the same time, what the hell are you doing, Kurz, moving your tanks like that?
Well, I think I understood why he was doing it. I mean, the tiger is a savannah creature. I mean,
yeah.
I played Zoo Tycoon, man. I know how it should be. You got to put them in the savannah so that way they can go and just roam. Just unfortunately, there's a poacher.
Yeah, it gets a bit anxious in the city and the forest. So I get it. I get it now. But terrible angle to bring that in. He's bringing another Jagdpanzer. I like how he's trying to push this area because it's actually usually a pretty easy flag to capture as it's not well defended. But yeah, it's such a huge loss. It's over 200 points worth of tanks. It's down the bloody drain.
Yep, and up to the north in the meantime, there's still a T-34, who can now get himself a nice little side shot.
No,
Or he's gonna get side shotted by a P4.
this two here, he's close range. He's gonna get a lovely angle on the Jagdpanzer. There we go.
But he's gotta be able to get the kill first. Because right now, he's going forward, and there's P4 here. And not for nothing, but I feel like that P4, yeah, P4 is going to get this. He's absolutely going to get this. Well done, sir. Well done.
Oh. Well, Sturmtiger's still alive. I'm actually quite surprised. He's managed to get off quite a lot of shots so far. I don't know if he's getting his money's worth out of it. It's an expensive big boy, but we get to see the explosions, so that's all that matters.
True. True. I don't know that you're... I think you're pretty right on that one as well. He's, fired 8 shots? Yeah, 8 shots. You can see a number of explosive kind of impacts really overall. But, I suppose... Wait, firing? Oh, jeez. He's not giving her... No, that's...
Okay, he's definitely paid himself off.
That was good.
I think by now. Yeah, this is actually a good little resurgence here down south for Kurz. I mean, he's got the Tiger here, a natural long range, decent engagement here. This isn't too bad. If he can capture that town, he'll be in a very good position heading into sea phase. Not a very good position, but a good position at least.
Decent enough,
Yeah.
patently survivable.
But we're gonna run into the classic conundrum of Maverick versus Balances. Gonzo in C phase, I mean, after 5 minutes or so, you really just outstrip your opponent economically speaking.
But if your opponent doesn't have the flags, therein gives you an opportunity.
Yeah, but Kurz is in a good lead, but not a great lead for surviving long game. He really needs to start getting a +2, well, really 5 minutes ago. Oh, the
Well,
Panther 4 up north, he's in between a bit of a rock and hard place.
I was too busy watching the Stroke Comparati and the Stroke DPs down here who are between Iraq and the rising tide of Germans. What was I about to say? Oh, yes. I mean, you're saying about him going 5 minutes ago getting a +2 or a -2. Well, if he just generates 1.21 gigawatts and gets himself by talking to some Libyans, I think we can definitely work some magic here.
Yeah, he's gonna need a time machine, I think, at this point if he wants a stable shot of winning this match. Unless he can... I mean, you just have to play defensive at this point. It's 22 minutes of being defensive. He needs that +2, and even then, that's going to be a 10-minute. That's going to be tough for Kurz.
Although Kurz is donating infantry too, which I think is a great thing. This time of year, you want to make sure you give back to the community. I just don't think you really want to give to the Russians quite that much.
Yeah. I think I appreciate the free labor in the Gulag show.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Siberia is. I've heard Siberia is like the North Pole this time of year. Where were we? Oh yes, you see. Remember all those German infantry troops that were going to the southern town?
Yeah.
Strategic bombing. No more troops.
Oh, I guess that does that to a guy.
Yep.
But honestly, down south is actually pretty open here for Kurz. He can actually capture 2 of these flags if he does move up aggressively, yo. I don't think he's going to risk it because he probably doesn't have any idea there's nothing here.
I'm wondering. Stormty got 2K range. Do you think he can get close enough to actually engage those?
This freeze?
Positions?
No, he has to get onto the enemy hill and that's way too close.
Yeah.
He can't shoot from his hill. Yo, fun fact, guys. During the testing for Death on the Vistula, the Sturmtiger actually had 2.1 kilometer range, so it could outrange anti-tank guns. You could see how that might have been broken.
I think, honestly, that was a noble choice, and I think it was a great idea.
Yeah.
I feel kind of cheated they didn't have 2.1. Oh well. Oh well. Studebakers, in the meantime, bringing in fresh troops to this northern town, and Pack 38 is just plinking them off. Like, he is having a grand old time. 3 shots, 3 kills. I think he's going to get a 4th one here as well.
Holy crap, Kurz has got a 16-8.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because it's light anti-tank weapons that are just killing ridiculously light-skinned material.
He's actually he's doing better than I expected so far into his sea phase. He's going to be clearing up the northern central flag here as the Stern Pioneers, and that's going to get him another flag, as well as the other flag in the enemy town here. He has a bit of momentum still on his side. I mean, Gonzo's kind of slowed down a bit, but, I mean, Kurz might do this, I think.
Let's not kid ourselves. There's still things at the T-60, and there's nothing up here that has any kind of anti-tank.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a conundrum. And we're also seeing the Panzer IV being brought up, but I think the T-60 is gonna cause way too much damage. Even then, he doesn't have much to follow up that T-60 push.
You could have rotated that Pack 38 back to the east. I think it would have, sorry, to the west rather. I think it would have a far better call.
Yep.
Oh well. In the meantime, though, town is heavily in his favor. Soviets to the north, just kind of chilling for right now. Not a whole lot going on there. Southern town, it continues to be a very, very active area.
Yeah, we got the Begley Grenadiers holding on for dear life, but yeah, with that little bit of open strip between him and the forest, he'd be able to keep the infantry pinned, and of course with the Sturmtiger, yeah, the Sturmtiger does not forgive, and it does not forget.
Especially when he gets shot at by an SU-122.
Oh.
In fact, there's 2 of them engaging him.
The one thing which can penetrate it.
Well, he's firing.
Oh, Gonzo, why did you do that? You ruined our fun.
Exactly. I have one tiny passion in this game, which when somebody brings a Sturmtiger, and then that's what happens.
It's gone.
Exactly.
I think we should just stop the recording here at this point. There's no point going further.
I think so too.
It's just been another Rangroo cast.
I
hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Oh, okay. Apparently Khan has offed himself.
Oh, sorry, that's what I used to call it, like, years ago. That's why I, like, started the whole YouTube channel as it's just kind of like second nature.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I was trying to
But,
copy a Propaganda Cast, which was like a Company of Heroes casting channel. I think he's still around.
really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll call the thing Rangru Cast, and that'll be it. But I just rebranded it to Rangru, because Rangru Cast kind of sounds a bit dumb. Yes, Rangru trivia for you, in case it ever comes up in a pub trivia quiz. If it does, I'd be rather impressed.
It will at some point, I'm sure. It will. Well, and also you don't want him to kind of take you to court, the Rangru court, because nobody would ever be on your side for that one
Yeah,
either.
a bit of a kangaroo court.
Exactly. Unfortunately, the Rangaroo court didn't quite translate through the sound as much as I was hoping for, but that's okay. We actually to the north. Meantime, Strokies. The Strokey spam is actually in full force here, so Kurz is now in a really, really rough position. He's got to be able to hold back the rising Crimson Tide. So blue won before, reds are coming back, and I think red is the color of the season here.
Yeah, Gonzo's economy is actually now starting to kick in. That Strokey spam is nasty. I mean, up north, the Panzer IV, deadly tank, but those C60s are on a pretty sneaky hidey position there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they flank around to get a sneaky side shot.
Well, they gotta actually move for that to happen, and right now they are not willing to do that.
Moving is pretty important, especially in a World War II setting. It's all about maneuver warfare.
Well, Strokey in the meantime engaging the MG42. Yes, he certainly is. And the TU2 is going to... Okay, so the Strokey over here in the town are going to get hit by their own bombs, but so will the Pigrens.
Yep.
And in the words of Braveheart, they have reserves.
Oh, but yeah, Kurz had a really good momentum going, but now the economy has screwed him up, and I think he's kind of buggered at this point.
You know what, man? If that's not a metaphor for adulthood, I don't know what is. You think you had some good momentum, and then the economy just screws you up, and just it's all done.
Another recession, oh boy.
Wait, where? What did I miss? ISU 122s. He's kind of coming to the front. We get ourselves a hefty amount. You know what I haven't noticed until just now? This is 376 twos. They've just been firing shells with wild abandon on the front lines.
Yeah, they've been just constantly slapping shells left, right, up and down.
Huh. Fascinating.
Yeah.
But the town fight is starting to go against the Germans here, and it's kind of easy to see why. Kind of hard to compete when you have, you're losing one squad to every one of his squads, but he's still got 4 squads in reserve, and you've got 1. So.
And of course, with a Maverick income, you're not taking any C-phase infantry. Well, Gonzo has 2 C-phase infantry cards, so the numbers just don't add up here for Kurz. But Kurz says he has a 13-11 again. I don't think for long, but it's a slight, breath of resurgence.
I think, ironically, right now we're starting to see the Valkyries actually getting brought into the map. So, the Valkyries coming in to pick the champions from the slain, and there certainly have been more than the fair share of slain on this map.
Yes, many slayings have been had. It is a season to slay.
Do you go on sleigh rides? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes. Gotcha. With a claymore. What type of claymore? I'll let you think of that.
There's something about a joke about having the point, maybe more of an explosive attitude, but I think I'll leave that to better men who will probably make that sound a lot better than I. TU2 back to the northern side, another bombing run, and this has kind of been the story here, hasn't it? As the match goes further and further, more and more kabooms and less Germans to use them on.
Yeah. Your CU2s have honestly been pretty on point and just blowing up all the German infantry, as we're seeing, and Gonzo's just... he's kicked in the factories and the Ural to high gear, and the T-34s are popping out.
Well, it doesn't hurt either. They have the ISU 122s. Oh boy. JU-87, he might get an ISU 122 here, but I don't think he's going to make it out. He's got it. Wait, where the heck was... Where's Barugan? Did he die?
Maybe he's having a nap.
He's having something, that's for sure. Unfortunately, 72K is being brought in at 25 mils. You can see like that Pepper Mill kind of anti-aircraft gun down south. nowhere close to the front lines, and so therefore, we're seeing ourselves a rather, maybe a moment of a breath of something. I'm not even sure what to call it, but it's a breath of something.
It is a breath of something, and Kurz is still holding on for dear life, but I mean, Gonzo just has that bloody momentum, and just looking up north. Once that Panzer IV goes down, that's pretty much it, yeah. And then the rest of the map, it's just a lot of stuff. And it's just not a whole lot of anti-tank left here from Kurz.
No. No. I mean, the Valkyries are coming in. The Valkyries have a very, very good weapons loadout, and I'm really quite concerned they didn't bring them in before now. So, that was an interesting decision. Sturm Pioneers might be able to pick up a T-60. Not sure that was really my first decision on that one, but that is a very interesting idea.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea. Honestly, flamethrowers would probably be a bit more effective against tanks, but probably be some balance issues with that. I think if you were to like, shoot a flamethrower into an engine deck of a tank, it wouldn't have a good time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're in, like, you know, the Russian Winter, they probably appreciate some free heating.
Oof. Well, I'll tell you, those Valkyries are actually now going to Valhalla. They don't even have a grave. They're just they're in every direction, man. They're just atomized.
Yeah. Yeah, near the church at least.
That is true. That is true. Although it'd be kind of ironic if, you know, Viking shield middens over here are kind of okay being with Christian holy
Orthodox. An Orthodox. In an Orthodox church of all things, yeah. Gets a bit complicated, yeah.
True. True. And with this next bombing run, these Gepards, these Gepard crews have just got to be exhausted. Like, dude, like, just stop bombing us, man. Like,
leave us alone.
Exactly. Exactly. Unfortunately, the Hermann-Göring Pigrens, one's going to get at least stressed. Yes, I would be very stressed myself, I'm sure. Looking down to the south, I'm surprised we haven't seen more of an attempt to pick off this Begleit Grenadiers, or if this Ersatz-Truppen, the tiny little, like, blue schnoz poking into the red lines.
Yeah. One guy, yeah, and he's pretty low on ammo. Not much machine gun ammo left in him. We're just seeing this constant artillery barrage, including the 210mm Morsa, which is, just zooming in, that is a chunky gun. I mean, that's the off-map artillery for some divisions.
True. True. Actually, that was the one that, in Company of Heroes, you could put that on a map, and if you were really just kind of memeing, you would put like 3 or 4 of them and just shell the enemy's HQ the entire time. It was awful.
Yeah. Yeah, the artillery spam was fun. Not to be on the receiving end, but to do it was pretty fun.
Not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Take us to ×2 at 3320.
Sure, I'm just watching a Ju-87 plaster the front lines, but yes, there we go, and ×2. Go for it, sir.
Yeah, because I think it's pretty clear who's going to win this match.
I think we did. That's I think we won this match. But we are going to see actually some light tanks and Strokies moving on forward, backing up T-34s. Gepard trying to engage him. Lucky little individual there, but I don't think he really wants to be too close. And indeed, yeah, he's hiding in the trees. For all the good that's going to do him.
Oh, whoa! No! Whoa! The little Gepard Jack could. Didn't even have AP ammo. That's actually very impressive.
Well, if you shoot at the driver's slots, maybe you just kind of like sneak one in there somehow? I don't know.
Yeah, he must have been playing a lot of War Thunder.
Dude, P2 is, I think, the best early tank, without a doubt.
It's pretty broken. I'm saying this as someone who drives a P2 a lot.
Well, I imagine in the Canadian winter, that is probably a good thing. Strokey, in the meantime, up north, I kind of want to know if they're going to run down south and try to pick up the P4s. The P4s decide, we're going to detour. This is a rough part of town. So they're just kind of going the other direction here. And grenade, yep, that's one. And the other one goes down courtesy of, I believe, this too. And yeah, that's it. That's totally good.
That's 16-8 for Gonzo. He pretty much has this in the bag.
Yeah, when the scout troops are coming in and just cleaning up the front lines, you know it's over.
Oh. There we go.
And Courage does the honorable thing and throws himself on a sword, and honestly, that is about what I expected in terms of the KJ.
Yeah, roughly 1,000 or so, nothing too crazy. Looking at kills, TU2 doing good, and Zis2 actually doing really good, yeah, knocking out 1, 2, 3, 4 proper tanks.
True. And the ISU, heck, even the ISU with Chukovliev picked up the Tiger, a Jagdpanther, a Storm Tiger, and then the Martyr. So he almost hit for the cycle on that one.
Almost did. And losses, Pack 38, knocking out a lot more infantry and tanks, which is quite funny.
Oh, no, so the Pack 38, that one right there, Natsha. There was a column of Studebakers coming down the road, and just one after the other, he picked off 3 of them right then. There were 4 trucks, he picked off 3. There's 3 of the vehicles. So
very good sniping. The Sturmtiger, I think he did actually pay himself off. That's a lot of anti-tank guns which he's gobbled up, but no infantry, which is quite surprising.
Not enough. I could have sworn he killed 1, but I did see him kill that the T-26.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he did. Was that 45 points per?
Yeah, roughly for.
Yeah, so I think he just barely paid himself off.
Yeah, and he probably did a lot of infantry damage, just not getting any finishing kills.
True.
Yeah.
True, but at the end of it, like you said, that lack of early kind of anti-tank on the infantry, and not really being able to successfully combat those light Soviet tanks, kind of end up spelling doom over here for little good old Kurz.
Yeah. He did it. He was doing really good in, like, 5 minutes into C phase. Like, I was rooting for him. It's like, okay, he's gonna clutch it before things get too bad. But then things got really bad.
And therein lies the rub.
Yeah, the classic Maverick balanced matcher, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely true. But with that kind of in mind, any final thoughts today for our viewers, sir?
No.
Folks, in that case then, until we see each other again, happy holidays, and I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.